live stream from Dulcimer Crossing. I am Steve Uhlberg, co-owner of Dulcimer Crossing, and I'm excited to be with you today. Our theme today is one that came to me last week, and then I bumped it out of the way to do the theme of comparing ranges, but we were really close to Cinco de Mayo, and that always makes me think of the tune De Colores, the traditional Mexican tune, which is a beautiful tune that allows us to illustrate some things. So today what I want to do is I'll start with the hammer dulcimer, but I want to, whoops, why are we crazy up there? I want us to be able to see what happens with the tune. Songs live in a key. I'm going to be in D right now. This is my D box on my hammer dulcimer. And the first note to start the scale is every song starts on a note, right? This particular song starts on the fifth. So most songs end at home. This song ends at the home chord of D, but the last note we play is not the name of the key we're in. The last note we play is an F sharp. So songs tend to start on one of the notes of the chord or the chord tones. In the key of D, that would be a D, the 1, the F sharp, the 3, or the 5, which is A. It could also start at the top of the scale at D, which is the 1, or in the other octave, an F sharp, which would be it'd be the third of that scale again, calling it from the lowest note. Well, that would be a 10th, but we're not talking about intervals now. This one starts here. And so that means because this is skip, I've got a third, skip, I've got a third, that's a fourth, but between 1 and 3 and 3 and 5, those intervals are called thirds. Now, they are a combination of major and minor thirds, and we're not going to get into that right now because that's a little deep into the weeds. But what I want us to look at is if I harmonize, if my melody starts on the 5th step of the scale, I can harmonize by going below. Excuse me. Now I've got to turn off that sound there so I'm not disturbed. I'm not touched by it. Doug, you're saying your church had a group called De Colores. Yeah, the tune itself is an old traditional Mexican tune, celebrates the colors. It has a rooster and a chicken, and it's got all kinds of wonderful things in it. It's a song that got adopted by the Cursillo movement, and it was also the theme song for the United Farm Workers, Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. That was one of the gathering songs for that labor movement, the people who pick all of our food. But the delightful thing is, if I'm starting on 1, I can harmonize generally a third above. If I start on 3, I can sometimes harmonize below or harmonize above. If I start on 5, my thirds are always going to be found below, because if I go above, it's generally going to be something that takes me in a particular way that may or may not match what the song is. It's possible sometimes. But here's the delightful thing. On the hammer dulcimer, I can play in the box, and I have, if I'm on this is my melody note, and I cross over the bridge and go up one, or up two courses, I've got thirds. So there's a pattern I can use. Now, some people, I like to keep, if my melody's in the left hand, I like to keep it on the top. Some other people like to keep whatever's closest to the top on the top. You can see that keeps the hands closer. My brain just likes it if my left hand knows it's playing the melody and it moves over. Now, that's the first two phrases repeat, which is what's delightful about this. But now the third phrase is going to ask for a special note that is not in this box. It's going to want the C natural because it's moving us to the G chord. And the beauty of the hammer dulcimer is I've got this note is the fifth step of the scale on both sides of the bridge. This note is the sixth step of the scale on both sides of the bridge. And then here I've got the dominant seven or the flat seven, and here's the regular seven. So for this one phrase in the song, now I've got to go back to the other way because I want the regular seven. So what this does is show us that we can harmonize our melodies on the five. We can harmonize the third below, which as I move through the song is going to do this only in that one place where I'm going over to the chorus. Do I need to go up here? But I always keep it blank, or I always skip one of the courses, and that gives me thirds everywhere. And if I could do this, that's going to work everywhere on the instrument. Now, it might move me, because of the way it does the thirds, it might move to different things. And thank you, Doug. That's where we're going next. Good connection. So on the hammer dulcimer, it's very easy to do this by patterns. And now let's get this camera lined up. If we move to the mountain dulcimer, let's hide that lower third. If I go to the fifth step of the scale, I'm at D. I skip a fret. Third step of the scale is the F sharp, second fret. Skip a fret. Fifth step of the scale is A at the fourth fret. Here's the part that Doug was talking about. That part of the song is where I need to use the regular sixth fret, because it gives me the flat seven in the scale. But when I come to the next part, I need to use a 6.5. So if I was playing this on a dulcimer without a 6.5 fret, I'd have to be going into the other strings to pick up that note. Now here's the beauty of this, though. The dulcimer has a noodling position. If I keep my melody on the melody string and put my finger 1 fret higher on the middle string, I'm going to have thirds, and that's going to let me do this. And when I go to 6 on the middle string, it won't be both 6 or 6.5. It'll always be 6. I'm going to 7 on the middle string, and this is where I go to regular 6. Now, the next time, I'm going to go to 7 on the middle string, but I'm going to go to 6.5. And because our melody is on the 5th, isn't it sweet? It's such a sweet, it's a mariachi kind of sound, right? That's what the trumpets would be doing in a mariachi band, or 2 violins. We've got the melody on the 5th, which means I can always, and it's almost mechanical, but it doesn't sound mechanical, right? It's almost mechanical because all I have to do is keep my fingers in the same relationship. I'm 1 fret toward the bridge or higher, even though I'm playing a lower note. That's that tricky brain thing that we sometimes have to be clear about. That when I'm 1 fret higher, but it's a lower pitch. Now, when I strum everything, the chords don't always match. So this is a waltz. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajarillos de fuera. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. So I'm doing the papa strum to play the songs, which is the guitarrón. If you'd have a mariachi group, the guitarrón, the big bass guitar, has the big strings as thick as your finger. The guitarrón player is going and everybody else is strumming on the offbeat, cha-cha, cha-cha. And then whoever's playing the melody will be doing that on the violin or the cuatro, the charango, or sometimes guitars. And then the mariachi trumpeters will be playing the melody as well. And they'll stop. The trumpets usually don't compete with the singer. But when they're putting together the harmonies, it's going to be this kind of a thing. So what we're doing is harmonizing by thirds. And we're doing it just because of position. The way the instruments are made. This one's got a noodling position where I'm on the middle string that's related to whatever I'm doing on the melody string. This one has got a noodling position where you can choose which hand is going to be the furthest away from your body, which is going to be sometimes the highest note, but I like to keep my left hand playing the melody if the melody's in the left hand like that, starting on 5. But then I can count and mechanically come up with a harmony that's going to work. Your girlfriend's school has a mariachi class for learning the music. That's what we did in the school that I worked in Colorado in Fort Collins. We got a grant to get the music, to get some of the instruments and get the music, and start that. I don't know if it's still going. The teacher that I worked with when I was there has retired. I don't know, but that was what we were working on developing the last couple of years I was there. Now, this is harmonizing by thirds when the melody is on the 5th step, starts on the 5th step. And it works because the melody does not end on do. Let me demonstrate. If I do this, if I keep that same noodling position, which keeps the 3rd, when I get down to D on the do, I would have, that'd be a jazz harmony. It'd be a D6 chord because I'm playing an A. It could sound like a B minor because D6 and B minor have the same notes in them. And D6 is a 4-note chord, B minor is a 3-note chord. So if I play 3 of the 4 notes, it can sound either way. But when I go down to the do and I'm a 3rd below, it's not the same thing. So this works if the melody starts on the 5th. It could also work if the melody starts on the 3rd. Let's try Mary Had a Little Lamb. Starts on the 3rd step of the scale. So if I'm going to harmonize it this way, now I didn't finish with the D6 chord right there, but I could play it all the other times. I just didn't want to finish it there because I need, when I end on do, 3rd below won't work. So can you hear that? And the goal of this focused attention is for us to be able to take melodies we know and harmonize them. And then one of the things that happens is I switched all of a sudden to 6 to finish it out. But I don't want to move us in that direction for today. I just want to keep attention on our thirds. Let's do that. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Can you rest there? Thank you. Let's do Mary Had a Little Lamb on the hammer dulcimer. So I finished with a 4th away. Which is an A. Above, it's a 5th interval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's what happens when you have 7 notes and you go up to the 8. There's no middle, right? So you don't have, the 5th is not the middle of 8 steps. So that's what happens. Can you think of some other songs that are like that we could try that with? And if you're watching this after the live stream is ended, you can go ahead and try some songs and see what happens. We are going to go to the 3rd above, and we're going to look at those different things. However, next week, Erin May is going to be joining me, and we're going to be looking at strategizing solos in bluegrass. So we've already got, so let's try Twinkle. It starts on Do, right? Let's go back to the hammer dulcimer. So if we do our, so what I'm trying to do is harmonize the third above. That didn't quite work, did it? Because this song starts on Do. But what if I try below? Now, it works for every note that's not Do. So if I substitute the A, so if all I do when I'm at Do is substitute for the A below, the thirds work for everything else. So yeah, if you're going to do it as a variation where you have a sixth chord as your finished payoff chord, that could work. That could work. And it's worth experimenting, I think. I think it's worth experimenting with those things, because it starts to uncover the other possibilities we have when we take songs we already know and we want to dress them up nice, take them out for a walk. Now let's look at Twinkle on the mountain dulcimer to see where we go for that. I think you might have already figured it out or guessed. An A and a D is here. Now this is kind of like the typical 5-1 because C sharp and E are both part of the A chord. We're getting close to Do, and sometimes if we're not, when we get close to Do, we make a quick run over to see what's going on in the 5 chord. That's a common thing that happens. So I want to call your attention to a couple of things. The Berkeley Dulcimer Gathering is happening this weekend. Registration has already closed for classes. However, the concert tickets are still available, and concerts are being hosted by Online Concert Thing. Thomasina Levy from Connecticut and I are the headliners. She's headlining on Mountain Dulcimer. I'm headlining on Hammer Dulcimer. Dave Haas and DJ Homoris and Patty Emelot and Rob Brereton and Aaron May and Laura Devine are all going to be performing in concerts. The Friday night concert, if we scroll down on the faculty concerts link, the Friday night concert will be Patty, Rob, Laura, Dave, and DJ, and everybody's playing 20-minute sets there. There will also be, Doug, you need to know this. It's the older versions of the Berkeley Orchestra, though. But we're going to, typically in the Berkeley Dulcimer Festival, we would have performances by the Berkeley Dulcimer Orchestra. That would be one of our spring performances. So we're going to have some encore performances from past festivals. And there'll be one video that'll be included each night. So the first night is one of the tunes plus these 5 performers. The second night, there'll be 3 of us. Erin May is teaching one workshop and is our homeroom host, and she'll be doing a shorter set. And then Thomasina and I will be doing, we'll be playing 40-minute sets. Tickets are at online concert thing, and you can choose just to come to one concert or the other or both nights. It's $20 a concert or both concerts for $30. But there's a bonus you need to know about. And that is if you're already registered for the festival, or let's I gotta refresh you, and I've got to go back. Let's go to the schedule. Concert tickets also give you access to the Sunday. We're going to have an arranger roundtable with all the registrants, and the concert attendees can come. This is hosted by Ashley Ernst from Dulcimer Players News, and this is gathering people who arrange, some people, there are a lot of people doing this now. There were fewer for a long time, but people who arrange multi-part music for dulcimer ensembles are going to be there talking about their strategies. Tull Glazner likes to do this. Patty Emelot, who is one of our teachers and performers, does this very wonderfully with a hammer dulcimer focus in particular. Tull is more of a mountain dulcimer person. Kirk and Judy House, who organize and conduct the first National Dulcimer Orchestra, which has been going now for over a year on Zoom from North Carolina, will be here, and I will be there. And I founded the Dulcimer Orchestra Library Project many years ago, and have conducted the Berkeley Dulcimer Orchestra, as well as starting the Colorado Dulcimer Orchestra, which is now under the conducting of Judy Jones from Colorado. There are several ensembles like this around the country. The first National Dulcimer Orchestra is the first virtual one that is focused entirely on virtual. The Berkeley Orchestra spent a lot of time in the first year of the pandemic doing things virtually and working on things and putting together some recordings of some of the new music. So if this is something that interests you, a concert ticket gets you not only access to one or both of the concerts, it gets you access to that conversation on Sunday. And that takes place, it's Pacific time, 12:45 to 2 p.m. So it's kind of a late lunch. For me, it'll be the later lunch because it starts in Mountain Time, 1:45 to 3, and Central and Eastern, etc. So that's what's going on there. I hope you can join us. There hasn't been one of those kind of conversations before, and we're tickled that Ashley Ernst is going to be hosting it. By the way, this issue of the Dulcimer Players News focuses on ensemble playing. So that's very exciting. Back when I started doing the orchestra, I couldn't dream that there would be an entire issue that would be focused on that. And now there is. I don't have any articles in it. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. We'll find out. It's been shipped. Maybe you've gotten your copy. Mine isn't here yet. Well, friends, this is what we have for the live stream today. As always, this will be archived on the Dulcimer Crossing YouTube site, as well as our Facebook site here, and on our website, dulcimercrossing.com, where both workshop and mentor level students have access to the online archive of all of our live events. There is one more thing to call your attention to, and I forgot to mention it. And that's because next week, there's two things. I want to share this. And you are the first to hear this news. My first 50 songs that you should play in the Mountain Dulcimer from Hal Leonard. I got to play through the final edits last night, and it's going to the printer today. Jim Schusted, who is the editor I've been working with at Hal Leonard, has gave me that news, and I got to play through them, and I had a blast playing through them. And I can't wait for you to be able to have your own copy of that. I am teaching a class at the Quarantine Festival that'll feature several snippets from several of those arrangements. I've been teaching some classes where I introduce a particular arrangement and why this arrangement has solved the problem of what happens when we're trying to arrange popular music on the mountain dulcimer. And so that's a class that looks at several of those. So that news happened. There was one other thing. What was the other thing? I told you I saw that. Oh, we have a workshop next week, one of our live workshops. And I need to get to Dulcimer Crossing. And let's share this page. It's really exciting. Colin Beasley is going to be here. And he is a hammer dulcimer player and also a wonderful disc golf player. But he's going to be not talking about disc golf. He's going to be talking about playing melody and harmony together. So kind of what we're doing today, he's going to build on that next week. That workshop is available for all our workshop and mentor level students at Dulcimer Crossing, as well as if you click on this link, you can get an a la carte ticket for that workshop, as well as the archive replay afterwards. So friends, have fun with your dulcimers. I look forward to seeing you in the future, whether it's at the Berkeley gathering this weekend or it's at some future event, or maybe just next week when Erin May will be here. And we'll talk about strategizing, the strategies that she and I use when we're playing bluegrass solos. I wish you all the best. Bye.